welcome Vijay. So I welcome Vijay. You can be please. As you can see, his rank this year is AIR 229, and first of all, I congratulate you on your success.
Thank you, sir.
And he has been a student of answer writing program and the mains program. And as far as I know him, he is the true symbol of patience. The one thing which you should learn from is the patience. So with these words, I want to start. I will hand over to him to please share your journey so far. What are the major milestones of your journey, your background, from where you come, and then you can share about your strategy in brief.
Sure, sir. So I come from the Badmi district of Rajasthan. My primary schooling and secondary schooling happened there only. Then I went to Kota for engineering, especially. So in 2013, in 2014, I started in IIT Delhi as a BTech in electrical engineering. From 2014 to 18, I was in IIT Delhi only. And in 2018, I graduated. Since 2018, I was preparing for the UPSC. So it's been like 5-6 years. It was my 5th attempt this year, and I secured 229 rank. So if I give you a little bit idea about my journey, see, of UPSC per se, in my first attempt I cleared prelims, but I was terrible in mains, so nothing happened in mains in that particular point. In 2020, this was 2019, my first attempt. In 2020, I failed prelims. In 21, I went till interview. My mains was good, but in interview I got very less marks. I missed out the list by 7 marks in total. And then again in 2022, I missed in prelims. So from interview, failing the prelims, and at that point, I failed the prelims by half mark. And in 2023, I'm here right now. So it's been kind of a up and down journey, kind of a roller coaster ride for me. So as sir said, patience is one of the things that was.
I think like you cleared prelims in the first attempt. Then in the second attempt you didn't clear?
No, in second attempt no, I did not.
You didn't clear. Then third attempt you go for interview. Yeah. Fourth you again miss the prelims, and in fifth you get the rank. So I mean, in my classes I keep telling that every hit of hammer that you are making is going to help you in the rank. So इनका जो first attempt में prelims clear हुआ, second में नहीं भी clear हुआ, उस समय जो इन्होंने preparation की, आपको लगता है वो preparation आपकी काम आई होगी?
सर वही preparation काम आती है, because it's not like कि आप 1 महीना या 2 महीने 3 महीने पहले पढ़ाई करोगे और हो जाएगा. It's UPSC में थोड़ा time लगता है.
Right. तो first attempt, second attempt, sorry to interrupt you. First attempt, second attempt, third attempt. ये जो टाइम था ये आपका वेस्ट तो नहीं था?
नहीं सर, बिल्कुल नहीं. Rather, what I will say, in 2020 when I missed prelims, I think that was the year which built me as this aspirant and as a UPSC student. Because in that 2020 year, it was also COVID year at that point.
Yes.
So 2020. I was at home at that point, and everything was coming online. So. And I knew that I'm not clearing prelims now. So I have 1 year to prepare everything. So that 1 year I took to churn out everything which I don't know. Every loose end which I can find out. I tried to find and I tried to solve that out. Which helped me a lot in 2021. In 2021 it was the interview which held me back. But from the mains point of view and prelims point of view, 2020 was very good for me.
True. Sorry to interrupt you. This is very important point, and there are many aspirants attending this session who have not got good marks in prelims. I mean, prelims 24 was just conducted. तो prelims 25 में उनके अच्छे marks नहीं आ रहे हैं. So उनके लिए उनको ऐसा लगता है कि सर हम तो फेल हो गए हैं. But I think आपका जो एग्जाम्पल है, आपने जो बोला 2020 जब आपका prelims क्लियर नहीं हुआ, that was the best year to prepare.
Right.
जहाँ से आपका 21 का interview call भी आया.
Right. And again, this happened with 22 also. In 22 again, I was not able to clear prelims. See, again I had 1 year with me. So I was like, this is the time when I will try to improve even more. So it was a low period, obviously. For
right.
1-2 months, I was kind of not feeling like preparing for the UPSC.
Right.
but again that requires support system. My family, my friends were tremendously supportive of me.
I remember you met me in 2021. I think in October 21.
Yes, sir.
Then in 22 you appeared in interview. We prepared for the interview also.
Yes, sir.
21 में आंसर राइटिंग हमने किया था, 22 में हमने इंटरव्यू की प्रिपरेशन की थी कुछ, फिर 22 में आपका क्लियर नहीं हुआ, एंड आई मीन 23 में तो आई वॉज नॉट मच कनेक्टेड विद यू, एंड बट व्हाट आई कैन थिंक कि 22 में भी आपने बहुत मेहनत की होगी.
राइट सर. सो दैट इज द पॉइंट. सी व्हेन यू, इट्स नॉट लाइक कि आप एग्जाम से 2 महीना 4 महीना 6 महीने पहले प्रिपेयर करोगे. सी मेरा एक फंडा है, आई डोंट नो कि बाकियों के ऊपर कितना वो अप्लाई होता है. एटलीस्ट व्हाट आई थिंक इज दैट इफ यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग राइट नाउ, सो दिस इज 2024, so if you are preparing right now, you are not preparing for 2025, you are preparing for 2026. This is what I used to feel. So when I was in 2019, I used to say myself that I am preparing not for 2020, I am preparing for 2021, because this exams takes time, and I don't consider myself कि मैं आऊँगा और एक बार में सब कर जाऊँगा. So I am being a realistic person. I feel I will take and need some time.
And you come from IIT Delhi. Yes. I mean that is supposed to be one of the topmost college, है ना? And still you are thinking like this. So I mean this is a standard.
So at every point, like in 2020 when I failed, I said okay, no worries, because I have this 1 year, and I was already been in 2019 also. I was only preparing for 2021. So it takes 1 year. That is the point. So if you, let's say, do not study properly right now, it's not that you will miss next year. You are going to miss the even next year. So this is the problem of this UPSC. It takes this much continuity, and it takes this much patience, I'll say.
True.
That is required. I mean,
when students are starting the journey, I mean, no one thinks that they will prepare for 4-5 years, right? And there is a lot of impatience in today's generation. What I see, मतलब हर कोई मेरे पास में आता है, वो ये कहता है कि सर इस बार ही मुझे IAS बनना है. और मैं अगर उनसे बोलूँ कि आप 5 महीने ऑप्शन को दीजिए, वो कह रहे सर 5 महीने नहीं, मैं 4 महीने में करना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि मुझे IAS इसी बार बनना है, राइट? तो विद ड्यू रेस्पेक्ट टू योर एस्पिरेशन, the point here is that you have to realize the true competition. कंपटीशन में हमारे वो लोग बैठे हुए हैं जो इस तरह की अप्रोच लेके चलते हैं कि हम अपना को बिल्ड कर रहे हैं. आई थिंक फर्स्ट यू डिजर्व, देन यू गेट इट.
So I'll just add a few things in that. If you take this year's result, so I think first ranker, fourth ranker, and fifth ranker. So 3 out of these 5 ranks, these are already IPS. So and these are like third or fourth attempters.
Right.
So it's not like they have got this rank in their first.
It was not a magic.
3 to 4 attempts.
True.
Again, there are few officers who have cleared it in first attempt. But you should see their background, and you should see was that really their first attempt or not. Because many times these many students start to prepare from 12th.
Right.
So till the time they give their first attempt, many times they are already been so much involved into UPSC studies that their first attempt is not actually first attempt, right? So and again, you cannot compare yourself with anyone. I mean, there are a lot of people who are genius. So you cannot say that okay, that person did this, so I will also do the same thing. You have to understand your own limits, Anna. So you should be having a plan based on your own system. So when I was coming into UPSC, my aim was that I'll try to do it by third attempt. I was not on the first attempt point of view, because I knew that I won't be able to do that. Okay, it would be very good if I do this.
Very realistic thinking.
My aim was that only. And in third attempt, I was very close. Had I not been that much close in third attempt, I would have dropped it.
But that's destiny. I think it's destiny. I mean, sometimes we want it, but it will not happen because destiny में लिखा है कि आपका selection 2 साल बाद होगा. And still you persist for that long time. और आपकी जो सारी बातें हैं, I can relate with जो rank 1 है आदित्य श्रीवास्तव, 2022 में उनका he got 237 rank. Like मैंने भी उनको भी गाइड किया था इंटरव्यू में और इकोनॉमिक्स में, तो आई नो हिम वेरी क्लोजली. सो IPS बनने के बाद भी ही वॉज इक्वली सिंसियर. ही मैसेज्ड मी, सर इकोनॉमिक्स के लिए और इस बार के लिए क्या है. यू नो, दीज पीपल आर फोकसिंग ऑन व्हाट नेक्स्ट, हाउ टू इम्प्रूव. सिमिलरली आपने बताया कि कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं जो फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में बन जाते हैं, तो उसका एग्जाम्पल अयान जैन है. ही गॉट रैंक 16 दिस ईयर. अगेन ही हैपन्स टू बी माई स्टूडेंट. तो लास्ट ईयर ही गॉट 84, तो 84 रैंक आई थी. आई नो कि ही कम फ्रॉम ए ब्यूरोक्रेटिक फैमिली. हिज फादर इज IPS ऑफिसर इन मध्य प्रदेश, हिज ब्रदर इज IAS ऑफिसर. सो फादर IPS, ब्रदर IAS, एंड वेरी ही इज फ्रॉम IT दिल्ली ओनली. आपका जूनियर है अयान जैन. आई थिंक ही इज फ्रॉम 2019 और 21 और 22, सॉरी.
ओके.
हाँ, तो मीन्स एविडेंस है हर चीज का. वट एवर ही सेइंग इज वेरी एविडेंट. और आप इनकी बात सुनिएगा तो यू विल फाइंड इट दिस इज ट्रू, है ना. सो पॉइंट इज हियर नॉट टू पोस्टपोन द थिंग्स. यहाँ पे एक मैसेज ये ना जाए कि सर अब तो 3 साल पंचवर्षीय योजना बनाएंगे, अब विजय सर ने बोल दिया, राहुल सर ने बोल दिया है, अब आराम से तैयारी करेंगे. ये पर्सपेक्टिव नहीं होना चाहिए. यू शुड हैव ए सेंस ऑफ अर्जेंसी. अभी के लिए आपकी चीजें क्लियर होनी चाहिए. अगर आप प्रीलिम्स 24 क्लियर कर रहे हो, देयर आर मेनी पीपल ऑनलाइन हु आर क्लियरिंग प्रीलिम्स 24. आपके लिए यही एग्जाम है, इस बार आपको रैंक लेके आनी है. जो लोग 25 के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं, आपको ये टाइम बेस्ट यूटिलाइज करना है. जब आप बेस्ट यूटिलाइज कर लेंगे, यू विल गेट योर बेस्ट, देन ओनली यू कैन थिंक ऑफ कि अब क्या करें नेक्स्ट. बट बिफोर दैट यू कैन नॉट थिंक कि 26 ही करेंगे सर अब तो, क्योंकि जैसन ने बोल दिया.
मतलब अगर अभी आप रिलैक्स हो गए तो 25 एंड 26 दोनों अटेम्प्ट्स आपके खराब होंगे.
तब दोनों चले गए, राइट.
वो लगता नहीं, यूं देखते हैं कि 2 साल दूर है वो चीज़, बट मेरे हिसाब से वही होता है कि 2 साल पहले जो आप तैयारी करते हो वो तैयारी आपका बेस बनाती है, एंड देन आप उसके ऊपर बिल्ड करते हो और वो चीज़ दिखने लगती है. तो मेरा तो यही एक्सपीरियंस है कि मतलब इट टेक्स टाइम, और फिर वही है कि थोड़ा पेशेंस चाहिए, थोड़ा परसिस्टेंस चाहिए उस चीज़ के अंदर.
True. Okay, so aspirants, you can ask your questions because we have just had started it. तो आपके जो भी क्वेश्चंस होंगे, एनी क्वेश्चन, एनी टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन, GS, प्रीलिम्स, मेंस, इंटरव्यू, आंसर राइटिंग, एनीथिंग, व्हाटएवर कम्स टू योर माइंड.
चीज़ों को मेंटेन और डिसिप्लिन कैसे करते हैं आप?
चीज़ों को
मेंटेन और डिसिप्लिन के ऑप्शनल भी है. ऑप्शनल कैसे नोट्स बनाने हैं, GS कैसे नोट्स बनाने हैं, नोट्स ही बनाने तो रिसोर्सेज कहाँ से लेने हैं.
सी फर्स्ट आई टॉक अबाउट GS एंड ऑप्शनल. सो मतलब इन दोनों चीज़ों में तो मेरे लिए एक चीज़ रहती थी कि जब मैं GS कर रहा हूँ तब मैं सिर्फ GS कर रहा हूँ, जब मैं ऑप्शनल कर रहा हूँ तब मैं सिर्फ ऑप्शनल कर रहा हूँ. दोनों को एक मतलब काफ़ी लोग ऐसे होते हैं जो ये करते हैं कि सुबह GS शाम को ऑप्शनल. वो भी मैंने कोशिश किया है बट मुझसे वो होता नहीं था. सो व्हाट आई रियलाइज कि एक सेंस ऑफ कंप्लीशन चाहिए होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स से इफ आई एम reading a topic in GS, I cannot complete that topic in 5 hours. The topic itself will take let's say 3 days. So I cannot skip that topic in between. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता मैं 2 दिन पढ़ाई करूं और फिर मैं उसको छोड़ दूं. मेरे को 3 दिन पूरे देने पड़ेंगे. So what I used to do is मैं पहले ये एक प्लान बनाता था कि for this many days I'll do GS and in this many days मेरे को ये particular topics खत्म करना है. And then I'll shift to other GS topics or I will shift to optional as per the demand of the time. So that is one thing. Second, मतलब क्या कहते हैं उसको, नोट्स कैसे बनाना है, रिसोर्सेज वाली चीज़. सी फर्स्ट थिंग इज दैट प्लीज़ मेक श्योर कि वन टॉपिक विल बी फ्रॉम वन रिसोर्स ओनली. ठीक है, कोई मतलब सी दिस इज अ कमर्शलाइज वर्ल्ड, सो यू विल फाइंड लाइक n number of resources for every topic, but you cannot read all of those. Plus for each topic, matlab this is you have to do, you have to revise the same source for at least 8 to 9 times. 8 to 9 times is a big, it will feel that it's a big number, but you will have to do that. यार स्पेक्ट्रम है, अब आप पूरी किताब 5-6 बार तो पढ़नी ही पड़ेगी ना, वरना कैसे याद रहेगी वो, एक बार में नहीं याद रह सकती. ठीक है, सो now let's say if you had 3 books for same topic and you have to revise let's say 8 times, so you have to revise now 24 times if you have to do all the 3 things. This is simply not humanly possible. So for me it was always that take one resource, and best resource is NCERT, which can be which can be enriched with your notes. ठीक है, if you feel that okay my notes and NCERTs are not enough, then you can find one book, one textbook, maybe any textbook. Read whatever is there, only that thing which you require to know, and then close the book. Do not read anything more than that, because if you start to read, if you start to research over that particular topic, there is no dearth of information in this world. Okay, so basically notes, NCERT, and one more thing if you require it, not on every day basis. 3 चीज़ें हो गई. मान लो जी आपको एक और सोर्स पता चल गया, you took it, and then add all those things in your notes only. So next time you don't even need to open NCERT, next time you don't even need to open that reference book. You only need to open the notes. If you have this much in your notes only, it will save your time a lot. Okay, so and also it will keep the amount of pages less. So it's a psychological thing. I only have to read 10 pages, although it might have content of 20 pages, but still it's only 10 pages with me. It's easier to do this compared to going through 3 different sources. Okay, so do this thing. I think that will ensure that your notes are good and well maintained.
Discipline.
Yeah, discipline is something which we all know how to do it. So there is one exercise which you can do. We friends used to do this. We used to write how much we studied every day. So we had a Google sheet of us. We are like 5-6 friends who used to study together, and we had this Google sheet. So every day, let's say if I did not read that much, if my hours are less today, they will just point out that okay, you studied less. It used to bring a guilt in mind, and then I'm also seeing that my other friends are studying properly. So that used to push me also, that I also have to remain disciplined. So it was a very healthy competition, not like that I have to make anyone feel low. It was a healthy thing. If let's say if 2 or 3 days continuously I'm not properly studying, then my friends will call me that what happened, why are you not being properly studying. And same thing will happen with me also. If somebody else is not properly studying, then I will call them. So this used to keep all of us motivated and all of us disciplined. So this is one technique which I can share with you.
So apart from basic understanding, how important role an NCERT plays in the journey?
See, basic understanding is the main thing in UPSC. So if the basic understanding is given by NCERT, you cannot skip it. Okay. Second thing, what you can do with NCERTs is that NCERT provides very common and very common data or very common examples for you, something which everyone will be knowing. So you can use these things in multiple areas in answer writing. So in NCERTs again, for example, let's say we talk about in geography, let's say we talk about river Ganga. So you will read about it that river Ganga is highly densely populated, that kind of thing. So you can use this thing in geography questions, in agriculture questions, or you can use this in economic questions, that how river-based economy comes up, or how the population is being spread out, or you will read about what kind of industries are there near river Ganga, or Namami Gange thing will come up. So all those things can be just figured out just by having this one keyword in the NCERT. So you have to read in such way. It will take time. It won't come naturally to you. But if you have NCERT framework in your mind, then it will help you a lot.
Yeah, there is a question online. एक टाइम टेबल पर कैसे वर्क करें? You can read this.
एक टाइम टेबल पर कैसे वर्क करें? न्यू चीज़ों को देखकर उनको पढ़ने का मन करता है और बाकी दूसरी चीज़ों को पढ़ने का मन करता है, फिर तो इनकन्सिस्टेंसी होती है एंड कुछ भी कंप्लीट नहीं हो पाता. सी दिस इज़ अ वेरी राइट थिंग बाय जेश. सी सिंपल थिंग इज़ दैट न्यू थिंग्स मत देखो, एज सिंपल एज दैट. ये चीज़ मेरे साथ भी होती थी पहले कि एक टैब खोला, एक टैब से एक चीज़ पता चली, उसको क्लिक किया तो दूसरा टैब खुलेगा, तीसरा खुलेगा, और फिर वो जो पुराना वाला टैब था वो वहीं रहेगा एंड नए वाला टैब को भी अपन कंप्लीट नहीं कर सकते.
That is how the social media and all these websites are designed actually.
For me it was like कि मेरे को टैब्स खोलने ही नहीं है. जैसे मैंने अभी आपको जब मैं नोट्स के बारे में बता रहा था तो मैं बोल रहा था कि अगर मान लीजिए कोई चीज़ समझ में नहीं आई तो आप एक रेफरेंस बुक में देख रहे हो और उतना ही पढ़ना है जितना उस रेफरेंस बुक में लिखा हुआ है एंड देन रेफरेंस बुक बंद करनी है. तो सेम चीज़ इधर भी रहेगी कि न्यू चीज़ों को आपको नहीं पढ़ना है. अगर वो चीज़ आपके काम की है देन उसका एक बहुत ही बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग ले लो, उसके ऊपर नहीं जाना है. सो यू शुड बी नोइंग व्हेन टू स्टॉप इन दिस एग्जाम. So how to tackle essay in GS3? See, it's a very tough thing to give you a direct strategy for essay in GS3. Simple thing about essay. See, in essay, what you can do, you can read the essays of few good toppers. For example, I think Gautam Vivekanand is one. who scored I think 149 in 2021 or 22. You can read his essays. There's a girl named Mehak Jain. You can read her essays also. So you will get to know how essays are being written. Okay, it will give you a framework. It will give you an idea what is the essay. Okay, and once you have that idea, then just try to write essays. It won't come. There's no rule that how to. There's no set of instructions that you do these things and you will get an essay. No, try to write some few essays. In initial 5-6 essays will be totally terrible. You won't even want to read your own essays. But this is something which you have to go through. Your 7th or 8th essay will be something better. Your 10th, 12th essay will be even better. By the time you will write 20 essays, your essays will be good enough to score 110, 120 in means. So this is my way of tackling essay. In GS3, see, there are a lot of things in GS3, but one thing which I feel is more important, rather I'll say two things which can ease out the GS3. First thing is that there are very small topics in GS3, for example, science and technology, IR, environment and disaster management. If you see these topics, you can complete out these topics within 2 days each. So have a command on these areas because these are very small topics, and if you have a command on these 4 areas, it will reduce the pressure of GST on you. Then comes the bigger topics, which is economy and agriculture. See, in economy and agriculture, first about economy, check the PYQs. You will realize that economy questions are majorly based on macroeconomy. It's not like they will go into a deep area and they will ask you something very specific. No, they will ask you about general conditions of the economy, like unemployment, GDP, inflation, these kind of things. So, and these things are very much well versed with all the aspirants. So it will reduce your fear of GS3 in my opinion. Okay. And then what you require is data. Data is must in GS3 because we cannot argue in economy without having data with you. So again, data is required, but data itself is a big problem because there can be a lot of data. So here what you need to do is that have basic data about everything. So basic data about inflation, basic data about GDP, tax rates and all those things. You don't need to have multiple data on same thing. Just one data about one particular topic. And you will realize that you can use the same data in multiple areas. So again, this skill of using same data on multiple areas, it will come as you practice more and more. Same thing will go with agriculture. Agriculture will also, the question will be on a very macro level. They won't ask you what is the agricultural conditions in, let's say, Western UP. They will ask you about, let's say, North India, or they will ask you about millets, or they will ask you about food processing industry. These are big topics. So have a macro point of view in economy and agriculture with some data, and data should also be very generic. So by the time you will practice these things, GS3 will ease out.
So, how about newspaper reading? How was the strategy for newspaper?
See, newspaper can be a little tricky. Why? Because, for example, newspaper is kind of a research paper for me. See, if you don't know polity, you don't know economy, and then you will start to read newspaper will be very much difficult for you. But once you go through your GS, and then you start to read newspaper, you will feel that newspaper is making sense. Okay. So, if you are in the stage that you haven't been through your foundation, then read newspaper, but only 1 hour. 1.5 hours. If you are not able to complete newspaper in that much time, just leave it out, because you won't be able to understand it. Once you are done with your GS, once you are done with your foundation, then you automatically will realize the true sense of newspaper, true meaning of newspaper. So at that point, you will be well versed to properly understand newspaper. Yeah.
So, sir, actually, I am just doing my GS and offering at the same time. So, how to tackle the piling up of the backlogs?
Make your timetable proper.
Sorry to interrupt you. Whenever you take a question, you can just speak the question so that there are online students who also know that what exactly you are answering, because they are putting same questions.
Okay, sure. So the question is that how to manage the backlog if you are doing optional and GS together. See, there is no simple answer to it. Okay, you have to manage your time in that way that you can do both of these things. So there are two things which you can do. One is that extend your time. If you are doing these two things together, rather than doing these things in 6 months, try to do these things in 8 months. Okay, because it's more important to do all the topics properly rather than doing them fastly. Okay, so that is one thing. Let's say if you are not able to do that, you have a pre-planned schedule, you have to do all these things in 6 months only, then you need to cut down few things. So because there is no other way of doing these things out. So what you can do is some areas which you feel are not important, note them down and keep it for the later period, so that what will happen, you will have a sense of completion at least for the time being, and then when in the first division or in the second division you can then pick up those areas which you skipped. So that can be another way.
There is a question, should we make the notes from newspaper or from the monthly magazine?
I used to make notes from newspaper. Why? Because monthly magazine was too information heavy for me. So it was very difficult for me to make notes from monthly magazines. On the other hand, newspapers were providing very simple data or very refined data for me, and something which I was able to understand properly. But again, it is totally personal thing. If you are more comfortable with monthly magazine, then you should go with monthly magazine. I was more comfortable with newspapers, so I am talking about newspapers. But ensure that you are making notes. If you are making notes, then make notes only from one area. Don't make notes from monthly magazine and newspaper both. Just take one source. Okay, so give some input to cover modern India. See, for me, modern India was Spectrum only. So I used to read Spectrum like a storybook, and I read this like some 8 to 9 times at least. So which aided me in covering the modern India. What you can do is, what happens when we read modern India is that you will read something, and after 2 days you will realize that you have forgotten everything, which is totally normal. This touch password. Now we have this touch password in our laptops or in our mobiles. What happens? We will put the finger. It will take some fingerprint, but it won't take whole fingerprint. You have to put the finger 5-6 times, and then it will say, okay, now you have to put the side also. Same thing will happen with modern India also. You will read Spectrum one time, only 10% will be retained. Then you will read again, 20% will be retained. After 5-6 readings, 80% will be retained, but then those nitty-gritties of the modern India, you won't be knowing those things. Now again, when you will read, you will say, okay, this thing was also there, which I missed in earlier readings. So that is the corner part of the fingerprint which I am talking about. So to cover modern India, see, there is no shortcut in modern India. You have to read the book, okay, and read the book 7-8 times. You will be very much confident in it. How to maintain consistency in studying hours, because some days I are more motivated to study. More than anything happens and it breaks my consistency in studying hours. Please guide, sir. For me, it was my friends. So this happened with everyone. What used to happen is that whenever my consistency was breaking or whenever my friend's consistency is breaking, we used to ask them what happened. So it was a support system kind of thing. So we all have problems in our life. They also have problems. I was also facing some problems. So at least that support system used to help us recover early. So that was my way of doing these things. You can also involve your family into it or your siblings into it. You can talk to them that I am not consistent today. They can give you some emotional support, which will help you recover early, next day properly. There is one more thing which I will like to add in it. Consistency requires proper sleep. If you feel that if you are, let's say, binge watching movies all night, your consistency will drop. Ensure that you are having a 7 to 8 hours sleep every night. If that is happening, your consistency will automatically improve because your energy levels will be very high. If that is there, then your sitting hours and your everything in studying will also improve. Current affairs को कैसे revise करें as per 2024 pattern UPSC asking old news more. See, it's not possible for you to go into old news and read those things. What will happen, that let's say if there is something in current affair, then on that particular thing, if there is something old happening, then that can be asked. So don't worry about this old news, just properly properly do your current affairs. If there is something old which is relevant, your current affairs will automatically be having that thing. So you cannot chase everything out. So realistically what can happen is that just do your current affair properly and don't bother about the old newses. If something old is relevant, just trust your current affair source. It will provide you the old news also. How was your experience in UPSC interview? Do these mock interviews available online have any similarity? Very less similarity, to be honest. Okay. In UPSC interview, this system is very much different. Okay, it's very normal conversation. It will feel like that there are like 5-6 people. Everybody knows that you are very nervous, and although all the five members in front of you, they all will make sure that you are not nervous. You are yourself. They will offer you tea. They will offer you coffee. They will offer you support. They will talk like beta, kaise ho aap, na, in that way. So it's not a grilling kind of thing. It's a very cordial, very very friendly environment which they try to make in the interview, which I generally don't find in mocks. So it's not that much similar. Setup can be something similar, but again the interaction can be very much different from the actual UPSC interview. So just assume that like there are 6 people who are talking, who are having a discussion, who are having a good discussion. That is UPSC interview. How to prepare notes about major topics, themes from newspaper? See, what you should do here, these major topics, these topics will be in your notes. When any news come in newspaper, just add that reference in your notes. That is the best way to do that. If your notes is totally filled out, then you can add some pages in that, or you can leave some area behind nearby the topics, so that you can add a few things. So I think that can be the best way to do that. For example, let's say nowadays this paper leak thing and this scams in these areas coming out. So you can just add this particular thing in your education area, or you can add this thing in probity in governance area, okay, in ethics, or you can add this thing in corruption area. So just the name of it, paper leaks, that's all. So it will give you a reference of newspaper also, and you will be able to understand what the thing is. How do we select what to read in newspaper? See, this is an excellent question. What to read in newspaper is something which is the first thing you need to do in newspaper. So how to select it? For me, it was again by my notes. So when I see, this is what I was trying to convey in my earlier conversation about current affairs, that you won't be able to understand newspaper without going through your foundation. When you will go through your foundation, you will realize that what is important in UPSC. So if, let's say, if in your foundation you will read a lot about everything, but you will not read anything about political leaders. You won't read anything about Rajniti, proper Rajniti, about political parties and those things. So if that thing is not in your foundation, then you should not read this in newspaper also. So this is the thing. Similarly, you will read a lot about major events which affect the whole of the India. But you will not read about events which affect a very small locality. So in the same way, if in newspapers, if there is, let's say, some event happening in a very local area, in a very local state, so it's not important to read those things out. So obviously you have to be very selective in those areas. What you can do is that there are some channels on Telegram and YouTube which provide you that what is important in newspaper this particular day. So you can, if you are not able to pick what is important in newspaper, then you can just see those channels, and they will provide you, these are the articles which are necessary. So you can do that thing in this area. Some tips and sources for geography. Can I ask Ritu Jetwal that it is for geography optional or geography GS?
GS.
If it is for GS, then see, sources is NCERT, nothing else. Please don't go into any other area. Okay. About tips, see, in geography, make sure that you know how to make an India map, how to make a world map. Okay, this is first thing. Practice this thing 10 to 15 times, 15 times in your copy. You will be able to make India and world map. Second, whenever you read geography, please always ask what is the example of it. See, if you are reading about fold mountain, then you should be knowing that there exist fold mountain. So Himalayas, for example, is a type of fold mountains. So this example should be in your mind. If you are reading about block mountain, then the Vindhyas is a block mountain. If you are reading about, let's say, radial drainage, then Narmada and Amarkantak, that is a radial drainage. So whatever terms which you read in geography, you should be having an example of it in your mind, and this example exists. That's only why we are reading about it. So if you do this thing, geography will become interesting to you, and also content will be interesting, and this will fetch you very good marks in geography. There are students who have taken GS coaching and also wish to read standard books. How should one make notes considering they have 3 sources to refer from which NCERT plus coaching notes, 10 books? Okay, very good. So coaching notes is the basic thing. When you read NCERT, see, you have to read coaching and NCERT both. Okay, coaching notes will be there, then you read NCERT so that you will feel a sense of completion. If there is something more in NCERT, write the same thing in the coaching notes. Then if you feel that you also want to read standard books, so read the standard book again. Whatever new information you get in standard book, jot that down in the coaching notes, and you don't need to open the standard book again. So you will only have the coaching notes with you, which will be having everything in it. So this can be done. Preparing for prelims and mains is good, or preparing first for prelims is good? I think both prelims and mains together is good, because you cannot compartmentalize all these things out. So try to do this together. How to improve answer timing and quality? By writing more and more answers. There is no other shortcut to it. Just there is one more thing I would like to add here. Whenever you write answer, write in the UPSC format. Don't write on normal A4 sheet. You have to write in UPSC वाली sheet जिसमें वो 2 margin रहेगी, and you have to write in the word limit also. So do this thing and write more and more answers, only then the timing and quality will improve. How to maintain physically fit while preparing, because I am becoming fat due to preparation. See, it's a very normal thing, and I also was facing the same thing. Just figure out half an hour in the day and half an hour in the evening. So go for a walk, go for a run, or do yoga or pranayam at home. Buy some dumbbells maybe. Okay. Or if you can, just join a gym. Not more than 1 hour a day. Try to, if you just want, just take out half an hour a day. It will improve your physical state a lot. And see, taking out half an hour a day is a very easy thing. Everybody can do this. What should be our mindset while answering writing in exam hall? Like to keep that single pointed focus while deciding content. What should be our mindset while answer writing in exam hall? Like to keep that single pointed focus. I'm sorry, Ashish, I'm not able to understand your question properly. If you can just elaborate it, it will help me a lot. For GS, thank you, sir. Strategy for working professionals here: how to make notes for mains as well as how to build confidence for mains exam. For example, Lakshmikant is sufficient for prelims. How to make notes for mains and quality. So, see again, when it comes to notes, you have coaching with you. That is best. The coaching people are working hard. They are providing you good content. So that is something which will help you a lot in making notes and making the mains note properly. Then whenever you will read things, see, over the period of years or months, a lot of new information will come up to you. Now you have to be agile enough that you include all those information in your notes. So this is an everyday practice. From after like 3 or 4 months, you will realize that your content has improved, and when your content will improve, your confidence will also improve. Second, see, as you are a working professional, you might be having a problem of time. So what you can do here is that rather than reading everything else, you can just go and write some exams or take a test series. Test series will itself provide you theme-based questions and a normal model answer out of that. So that theme-based question and model answer can be then incorporated in your notes, which can give you a good enough content in that area. Clarity on, can you give some clarity on note making, when to make them, how much to make, and should there be a template? See, when to make them is, I'm not understanding when to make them, and you should make notes as soon as possible. Try to have notes with you at least 6 months before the exam, because you have to revise your notes again and again. So make sure that you have 6 months of time period. How to make them? See, again, try to reduce your notes as much as possible. So whenever you are making notes, make sure that you're not repeating everything, or make sure that you're not writing long sentences. Just write small sentences which make sense, which gives you a keyword, or which can make you understand what you want to convey. See, because notes are for you, notes are not for anybody else. So you have to make your notes in such a way that you are able to understand that. Okay? And don't make lots of notes. Try to concise your notes into 1 or 2 pages only for each topic, because that much only is what you can write in exam. So if you reduce your notes to 1 or 2 pages, it will be enough. About template, see, try to have discussion, try to have a proper definition of everything, positives, negatives, and a way forward, and few 1 or 2 examples, 1 or 2 data. If you have this much in your theme, in any topic, then it will be very good note. Tell some sources for GS2 polity section, or which course class did you refer for GS2? See, in GS2, my foundation was from Vajiram. So for GS2 polity section, I used only those notes, and Lakshmikant other than that, sometimes if something comes in newspaper, or if something comes in monthly magazine, I used to add that much was enough for me. So I'm sorry, but I don't know any other courses or classes for GS2 particularly. Sources for science and tech. For me, it was monthly magazines. Compilation of monthly magazine was something which I used to use for science and tech. Number of hours we should study to clear those are 25 attempt. See, if you are able to do like 9 hours a day, it will be a very good thing.
Excluding class.
No, including class. But there is no weekends here. Okay. So if one Sunday you are taking a break, then next 6 days you have to do 11 hours. Okay. Sir, what should be our mindset while answer writing in exam hall? Like to keep that single pointed.
He got this answer.
Okay. When to make them, as in after how many readings? Okay, about notes. Just a second. Okay, skip it. Coaching is not provided. Coaching is not provided any notes for mains here, and they told us refer books, but not possible to read books at last moment. So can you refer some notes for mains exam? Not enough time to make notes because I am doing study with my job. See, I'm sorry, Ketan, but you have to make your notes yourself. In my opinion, it's not good to search for notes from somewhere else. So, see, it's a laborious thing, but this much is what is required in UPSC. So, I think there is no shortcut in it. You have to refer to the book. You have to find out time for it. I mean, if I can give you some advices onto it, but that will be wrong. So that's why I'm saying it's not possible. At least. That's all.
So there are some very basic questions. Anything that you think you could have done in the starting, in the first, second, third attempt, so that your success would have been preponed a bit? I mean, something you would like to suggest to students,
Yes.
which you realized very late.
I think it was answer writing. So, because many of us feel very stressed out, very anxious when we even think to start writing answers. And this was also something which I started after, I think, 1.5 years to 2 years after my starting of preparation. So, proper answer writing is something which you should start very early. If you start that, your preparation will be very much in the line. This is one thing. Second, see, don't get demotivated. Don't get what can I say? Don't get, see, many times you don't know where you stand. So what happened? For example, what happened with me in my third attempt? I cleared mains, but I thought that I cleared mains by about some 10 marks, maybe 5 marks, and that's why I was not properly studying for interview. That hurted me a lot because my mains marks was very good, and it was the interview which stopped my selection. So because I did not have belief in myself, it costed me about 2 years. So have a faith on yourself. See, you have a lot of potential in yourself, but because it's not been pointed out by somebody yet, or because you don't have an achievement to show, you might feel low. You might feel that you don't know these things, but this is not true. So have faith on yourself. If you do this thing, trust me, your efficiencies will improve and your luck will also improve. You know that fortune favors the brave. That kind of thing will happen. So have belief on yourself. That is very much important.
आपने बोला कि इस तैयारी में 1 से 2 साल तो लगते ही हैं, कोचिंग से या फिर जीएस ऑप्शनल सब कुछ 1 से 1.5 साल में हो जाता है. उसके बाद हम कैसे ऐड ऑन करें और नए साल में कुछ नया इंक्लूड होगा, वो ऐड ऑन कैसे करें? क्या या फिर दिल्ली में रह गई सारी पढ़ाई हो सकती है और कहीं और जाकर?
वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन. इनफैक्ट ये मैं भी पूछना चाहता था. लाइक देयर आर मेनी पीपल हु आर नॉट इन दिल्ली. तो आपने तो पूरी प्रिपरेशन दिल्ली के बाहर से की है?
मैंने दिल्ली से की नहीं है. 1 साल में दिल्ली रहा था बस, 2018 to 19. So since 2020 में 20 to 24 में
first day I am meeting him actually.
in person.
In person. I mean in person we are meeting first time. But virtually we have met since 2021 so many times. Like 2021 में he attended my first answer writing program. Answer writing workshop मैंने किया था ना. He attended first. I remember his face. He used to open the Zoom. मैं अपनी क्लास में ही बोलता हूँ कि Zoom अपनी वीडियो ओपन करो. So from that day, अभी जैसे आज मिले थे तो first मैंने बोला कि first time मैं आपको देख रहा हूँ physically. तो I mean you understand, मैं दिल्ली में हूँ और 3 साल से हम एक दूसरे को जानते हैं. लेकिन आज फर्स्ट टाइम मिलने, इसका मतलब ये दिल्ली में नहीं थे तब इनका सिलेक्शन हो गया. तो दिल्ली वालों को कोई एडवांटेज लेना है तो क्या करना चाहिए इनको?
पढ़ाई कर लो यार, कोई और एडवांटेज और कुछ नहीं है. रादर आई डोंट थिंक दैट यू शुड रिमेन इन दिल्ली, बिकॉज फॉर मी एटलीस्ट इट वाज लाइक एट होम आई हैव गुड फूड, आई हैव गुड पीपल अराउंड मी, सो मेंटली आई एम काम. इट डजंट कॉस्ट दैट मच ऑल्सो, सो एवरीथिंग वाज गुड इन दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग. सो
True, very good. I mean, online people will be happy.
Yeah.
Like in coaching, we take our notes during classes. After completing a topic, like after 3 to 4 months, you have to prepare the same notes again for the same topic, like in a short ways, or is the notes prepared during the lectures is enough?
So notes during the lectures are enough. See, but what will happen? Some topics you will feel very lengthy. Okay, so in those particular topics you can have short notes. But that is all based on your own requirements. It's not like you have to make short notes for every topic. If there is some topic which you feel you should have short notes, then have it. Otherwise, the coaching notes are enough.
So coaching notes 1-2 साल के लिए enough होंगे?
5 साल के लिए भी enough होंगे. So I still use the 2018-19 coaching notes. See, in coaching notes, what they are giving you? They are giving you basic idea about everything. See, examples will not be enough. There might be some, you have to keep improving those things. Okay? But relevance of those notes will be always there. Did you enroll some degree or something, when you found yourself you are not clearing the exam in first 4 attempts, does the panel view it negatively? Or if you aren't engaged in any activity other than UPSC preparation, panel do not think this in any negative sense. See, these people are much more experienced and much more sensible than what we think. They know that you are a UPSC aspirant, they know how difficult this exam is, and they appreciate this thing. They won't even touch about this thing, that what are you doing for 5 years. So at least I haven't seen any of my friend. It's okay.
Comfortable?
Okay. I haven't seen any of my friends who have been asked this particular question, that what are you doing for 5 years. They know that it's a difficult thing. So don't worry about this thing. You don't need to enroll in any other degree or any other area. If you feel like you want to do it, that's totally your call. But don't do this for the interview, from the interview point of view.
True. And they are not judging from your past. They are judging from your potential.
Yes. So whatever you speak in that particular interview time, that will decide your marks. The resume or the DAF which you will give, that has no relevance in your marks point of view. You might be having an excellent DAF, you may get very less marks. But that is not because of the DAF, but because what you said in that particular interview. So don't worry if you are not doing anything else than UPSC. Do's and don'ts in UPSC journey as per your experience. See, काफ़ी चीज़ें तो मैंने बता दी है. A few things, don'ts, which I'll say that do not engage into any kind of negative activity. Okay. Please limit your social media usage. I did not had any kind of Facebook or Instagram till I cleared this exam. Okay, just 2 months ago I made my Instagram profile. Okay. Again, in do's, see, your lifestyle is very much important in UPSC. Proper sleep, exercise, taking sunlight, proper food, these are utmost requirement. And those things which we read from childhood. Now, the kind of life which our parents teach us, that is necessary in UPSC. If you do that, only then you will be efficient. And when you will be efficient, then only you will be able to do this exam. Again, there's one more thing in UPSC journey. See, we all know our capacity. Okay? And it might be something which others may not agree with it. This is something which I used to think. That in UPSC, one, you have to be optimistic, but you also need to know when to stop. Because see, there are many people who will go like 7 years, 8 years in UPSC, and then they will feel that they have lost their life. Okay? So in that, I don't want that you fall in that particular area. So I have been to 5 attempts, but till my 5th attempt, even if, let's say, if I don't get selected this particular year, I knew that I will get selected next year. I was still confident. But if you feel at any point of time that you are not confident, if you feel that it's not something for you, then please at that point leave out of it. Because see, we all know where we are. The intuition which we get is right. So this is something which I used to say myself. Others may agree or not agree. But this is also one do's in UPSC journey as per my experience.
True. You were almost selected in 3rd attempt. You were almost selected in 3rd attempt.
That is the reason why I went for 4th and 5th attempt.
True.
Because my past said that I can do it. But let's say if in my 3rd attempt I was way away from the interview, way away from the selection, then I would not have given 4th attempt. Because this is where I stand. I have to accept it.
So 3rd attempt से आपका confidence बना रहा और 4th में prelims हुआ भी तो that everyone understand कि ठीक है.
Prelims जब नहीं हुआ तो I know prelims is very dicey. So it was not, I mean there is a luck factor in the prelims also. So I told myself that it's okay. There is no need to worry about it because my mains was good. I read the topic and understand, but when I sit to write the answer, I forget and fear what to write. See, this is a very common thing, Rashida. And this will happen with everyone. This happens with me also. The solution is that you have to face that fear. You will fear for like 10, 15 days. Or you will fear for some 100 or 150 questions. But when you will write 151st question, your fear will reduce out. By the time you will write 200th question, you will be having no fear. So the only solution is that just write in that fear. Don't worry what kind of quality of answer you are getting out, but still write. If you keep writing, you will automatically provide the that fear part will go out. About the forget thing, see, this is something which I experienced, that 5 hours or 6 hours before the exam, I was feeling that I don't know anything. Then half hour before the exam, again the same feeling was there. When I got the news, when I got the paper, I was feeling that I don't know anything. And when I started writing the first word, everything came in my mind. This is how our brain is. See, we are a species which have been evolved for like 10 million years. So trust your brain. Your brain is a machine which is incredible. You cannot make this thing. So don't worry. You will remember everything when the time will come. How to manage both answer writing and content building, because right now we are doing foundation of optional, and at this time if we start to write answer, blank lagta hai ekdam. See, don't worry, don't do everything together if that is the problem. Just if you are doing your foundation and optional right now, focus on these two things, keep revising as much as possible, and when the load of this optional and foundation start to reduce, at that point you can start answer writing. But in this particular thing, I will reiterate that you have to do the revisions, because if you don't do revision, then this blank hamesha lagta rahega. What pushed you to do UPSC, and are you relieved now? Did you give the prelims this year as well? See, what pushed me to do UPSC? See, when I was in my college time, I did not know much about UPSC. My friends was doing UPSC, and then I got to know what UPSC is, and then I realized that this is a job in which you can literally run a country. Let's say as a software engineer, you will be running a software. As an MBA, you will be running a company, but as a bureaucrat, you will be running a nation, I think. So that is something which pushed me a lot. That it is a job of high meaning that pushed me towards UPSC. Am I relieved now? Obviously, I am relieved now. It's been a very long journey in this this UPSC. So a relief does comes out. And I did not give prelims this year. I will be giving next year. Sir, you had given 5 attempts. That's a great, sir. But how you faced those failures at the time, and how did you restart? What about your family situation, sir? See, I think it's all about my family. My family supported me a lot, and my friends supported me a lot. So failures are there, and there will be failures in this path, and you need other people around you to support you out. So what happened? See, in my first and second attempt, I was not that much shaken by the failures, but in my third and fourth attempt, I was shaken, because my belief was that I will be clearing in third attempt. Okay, so by first and second attempt, I was like, okay, everything is going by the plan. But then the plan started to wither out. So at that point, family was something which supported me a lot. So that is one thing. Failures is something which you have to face, and support is there. Support will help you a lot. See, another thing is that you have to understand why you failed. So, for example, like in my third attempt when I failed, I realized that it's not something which will come again and again. I was failing in interview. An interview is a very dicey thing, so it's okay. Similarly, in fourth attempt, I failed in prelims, and prelims again is a very dicey thing, so it's okay. Had I been failing in mains again and again, at that point I would have realized that mains is not something which is dicey. If you know, then you know. If you don't know, then you don't know. Okay. So that is also something which helped me a lot. I realized that I have the potential, but in the areas where luck is required, at that point I am failing. So it's okay. So these are few things which you can do. After covering all sources like NCERT, sample books, and monthly current affairs, will we be able to attempt all the questions of GS 1, 2, 3? If you do sample books and NCERTs, in that only you will be able to do all the questions of GS 3, except very specific questions of current affairs. Okay. Current affairs, you have to understand that current affairs is nothing but an application of NCERT and sample books. So if you let's say today there were elections, the general elections happened. So it's not like general elections, you will understand general election by current affair. You will understand general election by the sample books and NCRTs. And then you will write about the current elections as an example, current affair as an example. Similarly, let's say sometimes this defection happens. So defection is not something which you will learn from current affair. Defection you will learn from the Lakshmikant or from the current affair, your sample books about what we say, Schedule 10 and anti-defection law and those things. And then you will give an example of, let's say, Maharashtra or Karnataka or Uttarakhand, something which happened in past. So current affairs is nothing but an application of whatever is happening in India. So just by doing NCRT in sample books, most probably your GS 1, 2, 3 will be done. Except very few things, like if the question comes on COP 26. So now you will require current affairs. But again, when you will be writing about COP 26, you will be writing about sustainability, about green energy, about, let's say, recycle, reuse, life movement, all those things. These are all those things which you will learn in NCRTs and sample books. COP 26 is just an application of these things. What is hobby, sir, while in preparation? Which activity that makes you free from preparation stress? See, for me, hobby is cricket. I love cricket. I do listen to music and those things. So these are two things which I do regularly. So hobby is something which, see, it can be different for everyone. Some people may like cooking, some can like traveling, some can like basketball, let's say. Anything which makes you feel good. Even watching movies, watching web series, this is also a hobby. So there's no proper definition of what can be a hobby. Anything can be a hobby. Just horse riding can be a hobby. Mehendi lagana, I don't know what it is in English, but it can also be a hobby.
Anything which can be creative, which can relieve you, where you can forget about everything else.
So there's no decoration, home decoration, that's a hobby. Okay. So anything which you do, that is a hobby. Sleeping is not a hobby, but anything else is a part of it. Actually, I did not prepare for prelims comprehensively and gave the attempt half-heartedly and did major mistakes of not completing optional before. So now leftover prelims should be completed first on mains. See, in my opinion, your prelims and mains should be done together, not in separation. So when you are doing it for the first time. So for right now, if you haven't properly prepared for the prelims and optional, try to do these both things together. Make a schedule that by December you should be done with your prelims, mains and optional. If you are able to do that, then in January, February you will be focusing properly on mains, and then in the March, April, May again on prelims, so that in June your prelims will be done. And then 3 months between prelims and mains, again on focus on mains will be there. So this thing you can do. What about your first day as an IAS officer, sir? See, I'm not yet been into the official system, so I don't know about my first day yet.
I think you want to ask, what is your experience after getting the result?
I was relieved. Honestly, I was relieved. That was one thing. So I was not like I'm jumping around. Okay. I was just sitting on my chair and
people must be jumping around.
I was with my friends at that point. So yes, they were all excited, but I was very much relieved. I was like, okay. So sometimes you don't feel you don't feel excitement. You feel a kind of relaxment.
True.
So my first day was a relaxing day. So I can properly sleep. I can properly talk to anyone. That was my feeling. I did not want to tell anyone that I've been selected. But for me, it was like that I've done my work, so I can now, I can rest properly now. Gradually, the amount of time that you gave for preparation, did it go down? So it will go down. It will go down because gradually your motivation will also reduce. So but again, it is how it is what you need to do. You have to keep yourself motivated. Whenever your preparation time comes down, you should be knowing that your preparation time is coming down. Again, for me, that sheet was very much helpful. That I used to see that my hours were more earlier, and now it is reducing. So at least I know that my preparation time is coming down, which I can then push to improve. Again, the role of support system, friends and family is very much into it.
I think every kind of question you have dealt, and directly, I mean, from your experience, I think all of us got a lot of benefit. Conviction, wherever we were lacking conviction, like many of these things we already know.
Yeah.
But when we get to know these things again from the person who has recently qualified, so it builds the conviction, it gives fresh energy, and I think I will say the same thing, patience. And from him, what I learned is that you should have something in your mind that where do you stand, right? Some of you might say, I will qualify in first attempt. So please judge yourself. Are you ready for that? Judge it from friends around you, judge it from teacher around you. If not, then do it whatever you have to do to get selected in the first attempt. Be realistic. Be realistic. Keep working. Don't be lazy. I mean, you should not postpone the things. You have to be aware that it will take time, and you keep working on a daily basis. So thank you, Vijay.
Sure, sir.
It was a wonderful discussion.
Sure, sir.
I think